Hello, fellow humans. I forgot about this in advance, so you get this version. So I've had an interesting 5 or 6 days, and something that I have been thinking about in the back of my mind throughout that time is what is my jam this week? Because there are times where you don't really feel like you have much of a jam. But the past couple days, I have really been focusing on something that I get really excited about, and that's the whole point, so let's discuss. I really love to read, and I kind of always have, but I have limited income, and so buying all of the books that I want to read just is not really a feasible option. That is why I love libraries. Libraries are wonderful places that allow you to experience new things on a trial basis, basically. You heard about this new book or this new CD or this new movie because libraries have music and movies to an extent, and you're very interested in it, but you don't know if you want to spend money on it because you don't know if you'll like it. Cool! Check it out from the library, and then you, free of charge, can find out whether you like it or not. However, while I love libraries, I also have a very, very bad habit of not returning my library books. It's because I'm forgetful, but it's also because I'm lazy. Let's be honest. That brings me to my point, the thing that I really love and have been super loving on this past week, which is ebooks. And there is, I feel like there is a preconceived notion that you can really only enjoy ebooks if you have a fancy ebook reading device like a Kindle or a Nook, but that's not necessarily true. For example, if you have an Amazon account, you can set up the Amazon Cloud Reader, which allows you to read ebooks in your browser. It's really, really handy if you can't afford an e-reader. I am fortunate enough to have a Kindle that I received as a Christmas present one year. I really love it. It's great for on the bus, on my breaks at work, things like that, because I can have these books that I want to read, but I don't have to carry around a bunch of actual physical heavy books. Because I already carry a lot of stuff, like, every time I leave the house. My absolute favorite thing, though, is the fact that you can borrow library books in digital format. I love technology. I do. This is what's so fantastic. As a person who loves to get books from the library, but is really bad at taking them back and therefore always racks up all of these overdue fines and feels very stressed about that, and so just doesn't go back to the library and so never borrows any of the books that I want to read, having the ability to borrow them electronically makes a really big difference. It's really, really nice because you can check out these books and read them and enjoy them without worrying about getting them back on time. And it's just really lovely because there are so many books that I want to read that I just don't have the money to actually purchase, and being able to borrow them from the library in a way that works best for me and my life is really, really nice. It makes me really happy. But it's also super convenient because you can check out all of these library books at once, because if you're like me, you like to get a stack of them, but you don't have to carry all of those around with you because they're in your nice little compact digital format, and so the actual physical weight of it is relieved, which, again, as someone who already carries way too much stuff anytime I leave the house, it's nice to just have a lightweight little e-reader that I can slip in my bag, and it's got all my books in it, and it's really beautiful. And this is one of the reasons that I will never poo-poo technological developments of this sort, because there are people who are like, oh, ebooks are going to destroy reading. That's a whole nother discussion that I'm not going to get into right now, but the bottom line is these ebooks that I can borrow from my library actually allow me to read more than I would if I could only get physical copies. And that's really awesome. And it makes me happy and it makes me very fulfilled. And frankly, the more things like that I can get, the better I'm gonna feel. Obviously, reading is not everybody's favorite thing, and that's fine, but take a minute and think about what technological adaptations and advances have helped increase your happiness quotient. Am I using that right? Maybe you love having daily communication with the people in your life, but there's just not the space or the time to talk on the phone all the time, or maybe you just don't like talking on the phone, so you text all the time and you get this conversation and connection with the people that you love, but you're able to do it through a medium that works best for you. That's just one example, a pretty basic example, but there are lots of ways that this can manifest, and I think it's really neat. So spend some time thinking about what ways technological conveniences create space for greater happiness in your life, whether it's through convenience or just letting you do something in a way that feels better and more appropriate for you, or lets you be lazy and not have to physically go places because you're bad at that. Think about it and find happiness in it and find comfort in it, because we all have a lot of shit going on in our lives, and we may not have our shit together, but we will get through our shit. I love you. Go find your jam and have a good week.